256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And with that, we say welcome into another brand new live edition of Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Happy Tuesday morning. 43 degrees as you make your way into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on this Tuesday. 256-576-4977. That's the number 2. The Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you on this Tuesday. Now, coming up later tonight, Gary Barta and the College Football Playoff Selection Committee will unveil the Week 2 edition of the College Football Playoff rankings. I don't think we anticipate change in 1 and 2, being Georgia, Alabama. Obviously, Drew, we will get a change at 3 and possibly 4 because Michigan State lost to Purdue over the weekend, so it knocks them from the ranks of the unbeaten. Oregon did get a win, so how much change will we have this week in Week 2 of the College Football Playoff rankings?
Well, I mean, we'll have Oregon moving up to 3.
Is it that simple?
I mean, I right now, I mean, we won't have Cincinnati moving up at all. They may even move back a spot with the way they played against Tulsa in that 28-20 win. They certainly didn't impress anyone, I don't think. And it wouldn't surprise me if somebody like Ohio State moved up to 4. You can't have Ohio State ahead of Oregon, in my opinion, right now because of the head-to-head. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. Oklahoma, you know, they'll have their opportunities because, again, Ohio State still has to play Michigan State. You know, and they've still got Michigan to play. Michigan is, you know, they bounced back, you know, with a 29-7 win over Indiana. And I do think that game this year should be more competitive. No doubt about it. So with Michigan having a chance now, the thing is, I still don't have Michigan in the college football playoff. They would have to win out and beat Ohio State and get some help.
Right.
But you know, they would certainly be in the mix. They certainly could jump you know, Cincinnati right now. But if Oklahoma can stay undefeated, and I know they were 8th last week, they will have their opportunity to be in the top 4. Now, Wake Forest, they're done. They blew the double-digit lead to North Carolina. They were 9th. I think they'll be out of the top 10 just because of the lack of strength in the league within the ACC. But right now, the one that's in trouble is Cincinnati. I know they're undefeated, but it's been a while. I guess probably UCF is the last time they were truly impressive. And Jerome Ford got hurt last week. So Cincinnati is going to be in trouble. They're going to need a lot of help.
Last week in the polls, they were 6th.
Right.
They struggled against a Tulsa team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So probably look for them to fall a little bit this week. Probably 7 or 8.
Let's put it this way. No doubt I think Oklahoma's going to jump them.
Right.
Because and it wouldn't surprise me if Oklahoma gets as high as 6. And then you're getting really close to, you know, if you're 6th right now and you're undefeated, you still got a real good shot. All you got to do is continue to win.
Yeah, and Oklahoma has Oklahoma State left on the schedule. Oklahoma State checks in at number 11 this week in the polls. So you know the Bedlam series there is looming. Oklahoma has been nicked because they have not looked impressive in their wins against marginal teams like Tulane to start the year. So if Oklahoma rides the wave, goes through everything, wins the Big 12, obviously you would have to look at Oklahoma possibly in the top 4 when it's all said and done. All right, that is coming up tonight. Week 2 of the College Football Playoff rankings. Your thoughts on where everybody will be, 256-576-4977. We want to hear from you on this Tuesday morning. Obviously, it is another big weekend, another big week for college football. Auburn tries to do something they haven't done in the last 6 quarters against Mississippi State. not against Mississippi State, but they've not done this in the last 6 quarters, and they will try to correct it against Mississippi State, and that is score an offensive touchdown. The Tigers, Drew, have not scored an offensive touchdown in 6 quarters right now. That is an offensive production drought for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, it has been. They certainly ran into a brick wall literally against Texas A&M with only the field goal in the first half, and it was tied at 3, but A&M dominated the game the rest of the way. There was no offensive touchdowns in the game, which was very interesting. Auburn's defense played well, especially in the red zone, and only allowed field goals from A&M. But there was a huge fumble, scoop and score by Clemens that really that extended it from a 9-3 to a 16-3, type deal. And when that happened, I think Auburn was in big trouble. Then they went for 2 and were able to hit it, and I should say it was 15-3, and then went to 17-3 because A&M decided to go for 2 there and was able to, by inches, it was nearly returned the other way for 2 points. But certainly Zach Calzada's arm strength played a huge part in that. Then they go up 17-3. They add a late field goal. And really, Auburn's hustle prevented another touchdown. A-Chain looked like he was going to break a long touchdown run. But Auburn got the strip from behind, did an outstanding job. And so I think defensively they played well, but offensively Bo Nix took some steps back.
What's ailing this offense right now with Auburn?
Well, I mean, they don't have a lot of difference makers at the skill spots. I mean, and if you can slow the run down, which A&M did, Tank Bigsby is probably their best offensive player, and he was held to 69 rushing yards. If you can hold Bigsby in check, Auburn is going to have trouble. Now, they're a different type of passing game. They don't get their wide receivers tremendously involved in the game. Part of that, I think, is scheming because they don't have guys out. They don't have a Jamison Williams. They don't have a John Mechie. They don't have, Traylon Burks at Arkansas, someone like that. But what they do have, they have tight ends that are good. Like John Samuel Shanker's had an all-SEC type year. They've used Fromm some. They've used Luke Deal. But they don't – and then they've used their running backs quite a bit in the passing game. But they don't have a lot of difference makers and vertical threats. Javarius Johnson's probably the closest as far as a speed guy, and they had him open against Texas A&M on an occasion or two and couldn't hit the deep ball. And so against A&M, that really hurt Auburn. And, that was probably – Jason Caldwell, a great friend of the show, said he thought it was the biggest play in the game. They had Javarius Johnson open. Even though he was being double covered, he split the double team, and by inches Bo Nix missed him. So in a game like that, which was really a fist fight for most of the game.
Right. 3-3 at the half.
That's one of those things where, it's late in the game. It's 9-3. And, if it was 10-9, it would be a different deal. And then Bo Nix had the couple fumbles. And so it was one of those things where margin for error was really small. And Auburn's offense couldn't really get any traction. So I'm going to be interested to see how they bounce back against Mississippi State because both of them lost heartbreaking games. I mean, Mississippi State lost 31-28 on the road in Fayetteville, and the kicking game for Mississippi State was horrendous.
Yeah.
So bad that basically Mike Leach has called for a campus-wide tryout for kicker. Because they had their place kicker, Brandon Ruiz, was a transfer from Arizona State, and I think he got off to a decent start, but he missed 3 field goals on Saturday. So basically, the kicking game cost Mississippi State a shot to win that in Fayetteville. So they've got their own issues to fix as well.
All right, back to Auburn real fast. Jimbo Fisher, after the game on Saturday, took some shots at the Auburn defense because he said and he felt, and he was arguing this on the sidelines on Saturday, that the Auburn defense was mimicking the snap count of the Texas A&M offense. They were shouting out the snap counts during the game. And Jimbo Fisher felt like it wasn't being called. And if you watched the game on Saturday, he was upset with the referees a little bit. Brian Harsin yesterday was asked about Jimbo Fisher's comments.
That's the first I've heard it. It just sounds like a court case. It's possible. No, I didn't hear that. I didn't. I don't think that's anything that our defense was out there trying to do. I don't even know if they know the snap count. If our guys are talking, they're talking to each other. And sometimes, I know on the first one watching it, I know their offense was pointing at our guys. Then they had one right again on the second play, back-to-back. I think it was their left tackle. And I think he moved and just put his head down. Usually when a guy on offense moves and just drops his head, it's on him. All right, you just know, and most of the time, offensive linemen, they don't really sell it very well. Like, if they made the mistake, they just acknowledge it. That's most of their nature. Just take it, accept it. They move the ball back. And but no, I mean, that was even the environment there for when their offense was on the field, there's a loud hum in that stadium. So that's the first I heard of that either way. But no, I don't think that's anything from our side.
Just follow up.
Okay.
So would you say that's something you guys teach, and also is that just gamesmanship?
Yeah, here's the thing. Being an offensive coach now, I don't think really there's a lot of defenses that teach that at all. I mean, that's something, everyone's like, oh, he clapped, he said the cadence, all that. I mean, there's been maybe one or two times in my whole career that somebody on the other side, and probably because the player just did it on his own, like through the game, just heard your cadence and said whatever. But, I've been around coaches that are like, we're going to go out there and use their snap count for what we do. Guys do that. It doesn't last long. Officials are on that. I think the officials actually do a pretty good job. If you're a team that claps and the defense goes out there and claps and tries to draw you off sides or tries to use your verbal cadence in there, for the most part, the officials are pretty good about that. And, I don't really ever see that being a big factor. So I think when that stuff happens, everybody just feels like that, but I don't think it actually goes on very often.
Jimbo Fisher responding to, or I should say Brian Harsin responding to Jimbo Fisher's claims that the Auburn defense was trying to mimic the play call of the Texas A&M offense.
Well, I've already seen that called. It was called on, I believe, Henry To'oTo'o on Saturday in the LSU game one time, and Alabama's also had a couple of those go in their favor in earlier games this year where so the officials look for that and they will call it. So it's something that's against the rules. They don't. I used to hear about that when I was younger. In certain situations, like on goal line plays and stuff, you would have where they would cause false starts, where they would be vehemently complaining that the defense was calling out signals and calling out like the snap count and things of that nature, or mimicking basically the quarterback saying go or whatnot for the play to be run. But it's really, until this year, I haven't seen it called by the officials, but I think it's been a point of emphasis. That's probably why Jimbo Fisher was complaining about it. But again, it's been called, so they do look for it. They don't allow the defense to clap and mimic that kind of thing. So again, I think it's kind of being overblown. Maybe it's Jimbo trying to I don't know, deflect a lack of execution on his guy's part. And besides, here's the deal: you're at home. So that shouldn't be really a big deal on your part.
Shouldn't. You're right.
So you're the home team. You're at College Station. So, and what I've always heard is it's a great environment over there, but it's not the loudest. And so I think, if that's going on, it's going to be called by the officials.
Yeah, Texas A&M has had the two largest crowds in Kyle Field history this year.
Yeah.
They had the largest attended game for the Alabama game, and the second largest ever game attended at Kyle Field was Saturday for the Auburn game. So,
and now they're Auburn fans for the rest of the season.
They are.
And Arkansas.
And Aaron Suttles has asked a question. We'll talk about this in a little bit. He has a new article in The Athletic, and it's entitled 8-1, but clearly flawed From maturity issues to personnel to the coaching staff, what's wrong with Alabama? That is the article that Aaron Suttles put out, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But you did mention Mike Leach, and he talked about kickers and doing a audition for kickers. Here is his reaction to being asked to how did your kickers take your comments on Saturday.
But the thing is that there's a ball and you kick it, and it really doesn't matter if a bunch of 7-year-olds are watching, or if 5 million Mongol warriors on horses getting ready to shoot their bows and arrows at you, because you approach the ball and kick it. It's simple as that. But I do want to have that depth, that we debated. And I just got to thinking about it, that we hadn't done that. Here, and it's just kind of automatic. As they would come through, and there'd be a list of about 40, and some would kick it worse than you would think, like worse than you can, for example. And well, okay, but some were even worse, trust me. And then some were quite remarkable. And those you'd keep around, kick drills, and then they'd work, develop, and then 2 years later, boom, there's your starting kicker,
The one and only.
Mike Leach on his kickers. He was asked who will be his starting kicker Saturday.
I don't know. We're going to check it out this week.
Okay. That's it. That was his response to who will be his starting kicker on Saturday in Auburn.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully for Brandon Ruiz, it was just an off night. He certainly had been, I think, solid up to that point. It's kind of funny. We saw Will Reichert miss a 49-yarder Saturday off the crossbar, and then he also missed an extra point for the first time in his career. I think in both cases it was bad snaps that led to those misses by Neelan Hibbett, who's been really solid, but he had an off night against LSU. So certainly Alabama is going to be working on the snap and the hold. I think there was maybe a hold issue as well on the extra point that was missed by Will Reichert. So those kind of breakdowns happen, unfortunately. It's part of the game. It's why it's not a video game. And that's what I always say. We had the tailgate show last night wrapping LSU, and that's basically what I was talking about with Bill O'Brien. They a lot of vitriol and Twitter buzz and things on social media. Bill O'Brien was basically being fired by a lot of people on Saturday, which is a joke. Because, I understand people had some issues with his play calling against Texas A&M, but like I said, you catch the ball, nobody's bitching. And so they didn't catch the ball. And then Saturday, they didn't execute very well. Should he have played Roydell Williams more, in my opinion? Maybe thrown to the backs more? Yeah. But you can always question play calling, certainly. But I'm not sure whatever they called Saturday would have worked, because they couldn't block them up front.
Right.
And so that's the biggest key. You got to be able to block them. And so certainly the offensive coaches have got to go back to, the basics, and got to go back to the grind, because that was not a good performance. But if you go back and look at it, and I'm talking about the other 8 games of the season, Alabama had been really good offensively. That was the first turd, so to speak, where they didn't play well. Because you can't say they didn't play well against Texas A&M. They scored 38 points and had over 500 yards against the same defense. Auburn had 220. So it was the first off game offensively, and in a lot of ways, I put it on the players, because I don't think they were ready to play. I think they took LSU for granted.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into that conversation, and we'll dive into Aaron Suttles' question, 8-1, but clearly flawed. From maturity issues to personnel to the coaching staff, what's wrong with Alabama?
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Reports. Got a wreck on 72 eastbound near Ryland Pike. No report of injury. 231 northbound near Meridianville Bottom also reports nobody hurt. Huntsville Browns Ferry east of Lucas Ferry in Limestone County reported with injury and possible entrapment. And 72 near Brock Road had a vehicle fire and a wreck earlier. Still getting reports of slow go there. You get 3 pieces of the crispy tender chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Brooks & Collier has always been about making the most of your outdoors. Our lush greenhouse and new furniture ideas will inspire you, but we're also about value. Our brands are so handsome, they'll make themselves comfortable inside or out. And so well made, they'll weather the weather for many years to come. Our staff can consult you on the right choices. And Lucy, for sure, can show us the sofa that's the most comfortable. Make the most of your outdoors. Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Indeed, welcome back to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 43 degrees, 727 on this Tuesday morning. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get in on any of the conversations this morning as far as who will be in the top 6 come tonight. The college football playoff ranking week 2 is released. Your thoughts on that as well. Aaron Suttles did ask the question, and this is his article, and it is entitled, Alabama is 8-1, but clearly flawed. From maturity to personnel to the coaching staff, what is wrong with Alabama, Drew? And he starts off with, is it an issue of mental strength and maturity? Is there an issue with the mental strength and maturity when it comes to this Alabama football team?
Well, I mean, I do think this team is mentally fragile. I've already basically said that yesterday, and I think Aaron Suttles and I are on the same page. I mean, I do, when you listen to Nick Saban after the game, and he talks about continuing to not apologize for winning, and then says they're going to continue to reinforce positivity with the players and try to teach them. It almost seems like, as we said on the tailgate show last night, that he's trying to massage this team to the end. I mean, I just think, and what I mean by that is the end of the regular season and try to get them to Atlanta, because Alabama still controls all their goals and destiny, and if they win, they're in. But certainly this team has not been pretty, and as Aaron Suttles mentions in the piece, it doesn't seem like they're getting better. I mean, it did seem like they took steps forward against Ole Miss, certainly, and Mississippi State. But then they take a step back coming off the bye against LSU this past Saturday. So I'm really going to be fascinated, because we know they're going to beat New Mexico State. Let's not misunderstand anything. Alabama's just that much better than them, and they're going to win decisively. But it comes down to the last 2 games, Arkansas at home and then Auburn on the road. And if Alabama is unfocused like I felt like they were on Saturday, then they are not going to beat either team. That's just a fact. Then Alabama won't reach Atlanta, and it'll likely be Texas A&M if they can beat Ole Miss on Saturday. Now, that Ole Miss situation is not going to be easy. Ole Miss certainly is still in the race as well. And Ole Miss, they could sneak in the back door if they were to beat Texas A&M and give A&M a third loss. They would only have 2, and yet if let's say something crazy happened, like Alabama beat Arkansas but lost to Auburn, and then Auburn loses to Mississippi State, guess what? Ole Miss is the last team standing, because they would only have 2 losses, both of them in the league, to Alabama and Auburn. So, it's not completely over for Ole Miss as well. It's still kind of chaotic. I know I keep saying it's a 3-team race, Alabama, Auburn, Texas A&M, and I still think it is, but there is a very slight chance that Ole Miss could sneak in that door too. if they were to beat the Aggies this weekend, which is not beyond the realm of possibility because Jimbo Fisher is known for laying turds. He's done it,
Well, they've already done it, really, you could say, against Mississippi State.
Well, they did. Early
year.
Mississippi State and Arkansas, they did not play well back-to-back weeks because I honestly think they had their eyes on Alabama the whole time. But and then they still were able to take Alabama down. But still, I've seen Jimbo's Florida State teams do this, so we'll see. But certainly, I would still favor A&M in a close game due to their defense. And if Zach Calzada can play solid football and they can run it against a smaller front seven of Ole Miss, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Ole Miss and the Rebels could win this game.
All right. He also talks about is it an issue of personnel with this Alabama team? He says they've recruited very well, so he doesn't think it's really an issue with personnel. But he says the offensive line doesn't resemble its former self.
Well, they don't. But see, Scott, I'm sorry. It's not a video game. I keep saying that. But the thing is, I understand that Doug Marrone may be teaching some different techniques.
Right.
I don't know how it would change that much, though, because here's the deal. Bill O'Brien made mention of this. Now, we haven't heard from Doug Marrone. He doesn't speak to the media. But when Bill O'Brien spoke to the media before the season, he said that he had to come in and learn Alabama's offense because no matter who the coordinators have been, it's Nick Saban's offense. Now, he allows these coordinators to put their imprint on things. Certainly Lane Kiffin did it. But I would think that the blocking techniques, even when you change offensive line coaches, if the system doesn't change that much, that the blocking schemes wouldn't. Now, he may allow the offensive line coaches to teach things a little differently, and maybe Doug Marrone's doing that. And again, it sometimes takes a year of adjustment for things of that nature. But I will say this: it's not really the X's and the O's, Scott.
Right.
It's the Jimmies and the Joes. And I'm just telling you right now, if Alabama still had Landon Dickerson, if they still had Evan Neal at right tackle and Alex Leatherwood at left tackle and Deontay Brown at left guard, this offensive line would be dominant whether they were slide protecting or whatever the hell they were doing, okay? Because that group is talented. I mean, you've got Leatherwood in the NFL, you've got Deontay Brown in the NFL, you got Landon Dickerson in the NFL. These guys are studs, okay? Darian Dalcourt's in his first year playing extensively at center. He's been a little up and down. Been pretty solid, though.
Right.
And then Emil Ekiyor, he's in his second year starting, but he's been playing next to a right tackle who struggled a little bit in Chris Owens. Chris Owens is definitely not Evan Neal. He's not going to play in the NFL. And so and then you got Evan Neal. He's a dominant left tackle, but he's playing next to Javian Cohen. Cohen got another penalty, a false start the other day. He's been a little penalty prone. He's in his first full year starting at left guard. These dudes haven't gelled yet, and they're not as talented. Let's just be honest. See, the problem is, and until the game on Saturday against LSU, this offense had been still very, very productive, and the running game had not been spectacular, but it had been really, really solid because Brian Robinson was averaging over 5 yards per carry with double-digit touchdowns and on pace to have a 1,000-yard year, and then they run into the brick wall. The biggest key for this offense and the biggest detriment is being compared to last year. Because it ain't last year.
Right.
Because they don't have the only explosive player they have on the offense that's truly explosive is Jamison Williams. Whereas last year you had Jalen Waddle before he got injured. You had Devontae Smith. He won the Heisman Trophy. You had Najee Harris, the best tailback in America. You had the best deep ball thrower I may have seen at Alabama in Mack Jones, who was deadly accurate, first-round draft choice.
It was a loaded talent year.
It was loaded with talent and leadership.
Mature talent as well.
And then and the leadership is gone too. And I think that's a big key with this team. They lack maturity and leadership, and that's kind of what Aaron Suttles was saying in the piece.
Yeah, he also says, is it the coaching staff?
Well,
referring to the fact that they've turned over and they've had to bring in, I guess, so many new individuals.
And remember, even with all that talent, with an injury to quarterback in 2019, this Alabama team lost 2 games. Okay, so even through all this turmoil, this Alabama team is 8-1 and about to be 9-1, headed into their last two regular season games, which is going to be the defining moments for this football team.
Yeah, a lot of it is a overreaction to an 8-1 start. B. Rich holding for us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Drew, that is phenomenal insight breakdown on this team. I think you've absolutely nailed what the culmination of all the issues are for this team. And you can overcome, one or two of those if you have a few of the other intangible qualities that you were talking about. But there is definitely not – I don't know if I would say a complete lack of leadership. It's just a different kind of leadership this year. I mean, everybody, I think, would say that Bryce Young is kind of a leader on the field, but I don't think Bryce Young is the type of guy that's going to get in anybody's face and kind of, alpha dog them. When last year you were talking about all the weapons we had. When you have all of those weapons, it makes a guy like Billingsley play better, play accountable. Well, you don't have some of that stuff, and he's kind of dropped off. You're not seeing, all of the ability that you thought you would see in the playmaking when we really need it. I am surprised, and Scott, kind of glad you brought up a little bit of the coaching stuff. I am surprised that the offensive line is still having issues gelling this late in the season. Well, you had a monster turnover with the coaching staff. When you lose all that kind of skill players and you lose all the coaches, and there's going to be years where it just doesn't look right on TV when you're watching it. It doesn't look like the special team. That doesn't mean that this team is any less talented, because I'm watching college football right now, and outside of Georgia, I'm not seeing any other special team. So I think the frustrating thing is you got a lot of impatient Bama fans. You got a lot of impatient media. And Bama is always going to be held to this standard. They've created the standard. They are the standard. Drew, you've often said, when you create the beast, you have to constantly feed the beast. So this stuff is all tough. It's not that they won't be able to reach their ultimate goal. It's going to be extremely, extremely difficult for them to reach the ultimate goal this year. That doesn't make it any less. It just makes it more frustrating as a Bama fan. So this is my 2 cents. But great job, Drew, man. I appreciate everything you do.
Well, I appreciate it, B. Rich. Thanks for listening and calling. But I think the most disappointing thing for me is every year every team's different. And I made comment before the season, and then it looked like it was going to come to fruition when Billingsley started to create another role for himself and dig his way out of the doghouse against Southern Mississippi and Ole Miss. It looked like to me that the tight ends were going to be a huge part of this offense. They were going to be in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends a lot, and that was going to be a defining part of this year's team, because the tight ends were going to be featured more. Bill O'Brien's a guy that's liked to feature them when he was with the Houston Texans and the New England Patriots. And I just thought, okay, wide receivers, maybe not as explosive this year. You've got a John Mechie, you've got a Jameson Williams, but the other couple of guys, maybe a Cameron Latou and a Jaleel Billingsley, but they've disappeared. And I made this comment coming out of the bye week that I thought Jaleel Billingsley would either step forward and become a big part of the plans or be left behind the rest of the season. He didn't get any touches or any targets in this last game against LSU. And Cameron Latou, first play of the game, should have been a 15-yard play. He drops it. He did catch one later, but he has had too many drops. And so the most disappointing part of this offense has been the tight ends and their disappearance. But I don't factor that. I don't blame Bill O'Brien on that. I blame the players.
They're
sorry.
not executing
you have
what
to
is
catch
done.
the ball, bro. I mean, you're not above criticism. You have to catch the ball, and then we know what Jaleel Billingsley's problem is, okay? He hasn't done the little things right. He's got a chance to be a pro, but you have to go out there and earn it, and the coaches have lost confidence in him. And so I'm going to be really fascinated to see if either one of them step forward, and they need to help this football team. But right now they're missing in action.
Right.
And so it's really hurt this offense because it gives Bryce less options. It gives you they have more trouble moving the chains because the middle of the field is open. But these dudes have to make plays, man. And I'm sorry, when you got stone hands and you look like the dude out of Unnecessary Roughness where you need stick 'em, it's not good.
All right, let's get a break in. Oh, great movie. When we come back, one college football coach in a Power 5 program bet on himself for next year. We'll explain and we'll give you the numbers when we return.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Our newest wrecks in Morgan County, 36 in Mount Tabor. Report says a vehicle hit a tree there. That one is an injury time. 72 eastbound at Ryland Pike, 231 northbound at Meridianville Bottom came in as no injury. Huntsville Browns Ferry east of Lucas Ferry in Limestone County. That one reported with injury and entrapment. Snelling has immediate need for experienced materials handlers for a premier government contractor. First shift at $14.50 an hour plus overtime. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourself. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Protecting your family is a priority. Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are two of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your home and your family. But they do actually expire. The expert electricians at Mr. Sparky will test and advise or install the best unit for your home. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Want to try something different for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Then why not head on over to City Cafe Diner? They have the largest menu in the area with traditional breakfast like pancakes and omelets, comfort foods like burgers and shakes, and specialty items like homemade Greek delicacies. And their entire menu is served any time of day. So make plans to dine with City Cafe Diner today, just west of the Parkway at 2003 Drake Avenue. City Cafe Diner, where no one leaves hungry.
Eating the last slice of pumpkin pie, power move. Buying your own gifts, power move. Switching to extra reliable internet from WOW with speeds up to 1 gig, power move. Get the speed you need, starting with Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, learn how to get a year of HBO Max included and up to $300 on us. Sign up at Wowway.com today.
Wow.
After the promotional period, HBO Max will auto-renew at then prevailing rate. Limited to new customers with auto-pay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Championships are won right here.
And that is it. The final score, Bama 52, Ohio State 24. Alabama does it. 10 regular season SEC wins. An SEC championship, a Rose Bowl championship, and national championship number 18. 13-0, absolute perfection.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back to Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. In a day and age where a lot of college programs say goodbye to you after your third year or fourth year if you do not produce, Nebraska and Trev Alberts, their AD, going all in on Scott Frost. Scott Frost is basically doubling down on himself next year, agreeing to stay with the Huskers for next year, but we're going to do it under a reduced salary from $5 million to $4 million, and his buyout will go from $15 to $7.5 million there in Nebraska next season. But the Cornhuskers deciding to stay with Scott Frost for one more year.
Yep, win or else. Basically what it comes down to. He's got a chance to get them back into contention, into a bowl game next year, and if not, I think if he doesn't go at least 8-4, he'll get the zig, and Trev Alberts will have to start all over. So maybe Nebraska then will wise up and go back to option football, because I think that's the only way they're ever going to win, because they don't produce enough talent to win with a pro-style attack. And, I mean, they still have great fans, but I'm just talking about from a high school football perspective in that state. And they got away from their core and what made them great and felt like they needed to modernize. And I know Oklahoma has turned into a school that is known for spreading it out and throwing the football around, and it's worked. But whenever Nebraska has tried to do that, it's been a historic failure. And so, but I also blame them for going to the Big Ten. I think it was stupid. I think they never should have happened. I know Tom Osborne at the time as the athletic director thought it was the right move, thought they were going to make a lot of money, and they were going to, be able to, create new rivalries. It's been a thud. Okay, I think they should have during this realignment. I think they should go back to the Big 12, but especially with how soft it is. I mean, I still think if they went back to their core that they could be good again, but maybe not what they once were, but still. To me, it doesn't fit. And I've been a little surprised that Scott Frost hasn't done better, but again, it's that old adage. I've heard this said many times, and I know he's a former Nebraska player, but he won at UCF, but sometimes guys like him, Mike Norvell, Justin Fuente, who has gone from Memphis to Virginia Tech, sometimes you end up over your head.
Right.
And sometimes you're at a perfect fit at a place in a group of 5 job, and you go to a Power 5 job amongst the Sharks, and you get exposed. And I think Fuente is probably about to get fired at Virginia Tech. That's probably one that's about over, where they're going to be in the mode for a new head football coach. And with Shane Beamer's family ties there, if he hadn't got hired at South Carolina, you probably would have been looking at him as perhaps a candidate to follow in his dad's footsteps. Now he's with the Gamecocks. Not sure that's going to happen. It's all about timing. I don't think he would leave South Carolina after a year. So going to be really interesting to see if they make a change, what direction Virginia Tech goes in, because, of course, Bud Foster's now retired. There's been a lot of changeover in that program as well. So it's interesting about fit. Fit is a big key in jobs. And I don't know. I just think – I'm not sure it's necessarily all Scott Frost's fault because, look, I mean, we've seen since Frank Solich was fired, the only coach to basically win 9 games and go to a couple of, conference championship games, bowl games, it was Bo Pelini. And do I think Bo Pelini was a great coach?
No. But
I'm just saying that it's just he kind of was the he was kind of the Butch Jones in Nebraska.
Right.
But they just can't seem to find the right fit. And I think a lot of it was when they panicked and got rid of Frank Solich years ago when that program maybe wasn't winning at the level of a Tom Osborne, but was still winning.
Solid.
And once again, it hasn't worked. It's kind of like when Tennessee fans in the administration turned on Philip Fulmer. They got rid of him, and now they've been running through the abyss. Though I think Fulmer's program was definitely on the downslide, but they have not been able to find a fit since that period of time.
All right, so let's do it as the world turns when it comes to your SEC quarterbacks. Some interesting and kind of chuckling developments yesterday at both LSU and Florida. This according to Shea Dixon, Garrett Nussmeier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the plan apparently was to redshirt him this year. He was upset that he did not get to play in the loss at Alabama. So much so that his dad, Cowboy quarterback coach Doug Nussmeier, called LSU offensive coordinator Jake Perez on Sunday, and the plan now going forward is to play him.
Jake Peets, yeah.
Yes, Jake Peets, yeah, Perez, Jake Peets.
Yeah,
so the plan is now to play him. Now yesterday morning, Ed Orgeron did say that Max Johnson will remain the starting quarterback, but the plan is to play Nussmeier Saturday against Arkansas.
Just cue up Morrison. I mean, this is the end. I don't give a damn if his daddy's a coach or where he's at. I mean, he got processed at Alabama because he couldn't handle Saban's ranting and raving because that's just part of it.
Right.
And he was a decent OC at Alabama. Didn't do anything at Florida for Jim McElwain to garner confidence. Look, I mean, even if he's a prominent coach in the industry, the parents can't be dictating who plays. Okay, that's the reason they're all fired anyway. All right, and so I mean, my goodness, why should he have played in the game? I didn't think Max Johnson was hurt. I mean, he took some shots, but was he hurt? I didn't see that.
I didn't see that he was hurt. But
why all of a sudden, Garrett Nussmeier, he should have played in the game. To do what? I mean, Max Johnson's been the starter all year. I mean, when they bring in the new coach and you go through spring, then Garrett Nussmeier is going to have a chance to, play in the game or compete for the starting quarterback job. Nobody will be guaranteed a job. But right now, I don't think Garrett Nussmeier's ready to play. I don't think it's a bad thing
call
to be redshirting. I mean, you're still going to have 4 years of eligibility, dude. I mean, it's not about the beginning; it's about the end, and you'll get your opportunity. But why are you complaining now? I mean, all you're doing is just adding to the stupidity of this entire season and another chapter in a book that nobody wants to read.
And speaking of stupidity, this one has to top the charts, and that's why
I'll say this. I don't think Doug Nussmeier is going to call next day, but I saw that. He'd get hung up on so fast his head would spin. He'd tell him to shut the hell up and get off the phone. You don't tell the head coach who to play.
Oh, you great composure there. Because anyway, speaking of stupidity,
This is serious.
This one is the best. Dan Mullen did confirm yesterday that Anthony Richardson hurt his knee dancing in the team hotel.
Why would you tell that?
A day after he was cleared for concussion, said MRI is clear. Needless to say, Mullen was not pleased with the news Friday night.
Why would you embarrass your player like that? Why would you put that out there? Now you know why that doofus can't recruit. I mean, you're sitting there, while you're not pleased with it, you don't sit there and tell the media that. Because it makes your program look like a bunch of dumbasses, is what it does. I mean, that's just stupid. That's just more Dan Mullen stupidity. I mean, you know, he's going to start needing his own category. I mean, good Lord.
He's clearly on the list of Moron of the Year award nominees for our plaque.
I'll say this, the most overrated coach in America. I mean, I still think he's a good play caller and a good developer of offense, but the dude is not and I'm telling you, he is not a championship caliber head coach.
Overrated coach.
And if they give the dude a shot in the NFL, he will crash and burn.
Could you put Ed Orgeron in that category?
Of course.
Would you would put Ed Orgeron, Dan Mullen in that category?
I mean, Ed Orgeron, let's just be blunt.
Who else would you put in there?
He got lucky.
Yeah. No, he did. Lightning in a bottle.
I mean, there's no other way. I mean, he and Gene Chizik both. Neither one of them were elite head coaches, but it's about, what did I say at the beginning of the show? The Jimmies and the Joes.
Gene Chizik walked into
being
Cam
Joe
Newton,
Burrow and then Cam Newton.
Gene Chizik didn't, from what we understand, from what I remember, didn't want to play Cam Newton. That was not his choice.
He did not want to sign it. He didn't know what he had.
Yes.
He wasn't in favor at first of signing Cam Newton. He didn't know how good Cam Newton was. And so, again, that's one of those things. It's Gene Chizik got lucky. So did Ed Orgeron. They both made a lot of money.
Dan Mullen, you could say, got lucky because those were not his players last year that he won with.
Well, it was Kyle Trask. And, again, he does a good job of developing players. He just can't keep his mouth shut. And he can't and he says stupid things like, we'll worry about recruiting in January after I'm fired. I mean, you just you can't say stupid things like that. He has no filter, man. He just is and then that's why he's not elite and he never will be.
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back and talk some high school basketball, Huntsville High coach Christian Schweers is going to join us live this time. We'll talk high school hoops when we return.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Our newest wrecks in Morgan County, 36 in Mount Tabor. Report says a vehicle hit a tree there. That one is an injury time. 72 eastbound at Ryland Pike, 231 northbound at Meridianville Bottom came in as no injury. Huntsville Browns Ferry east of Lucas Ferry in Limestone County. That one reported with injury and entrapment. Snelling has immediate need for experienced materials handlers for a premier government contractor. First shift at $14.50 an hour plus overtime. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Overall, a beautiful Tuesday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s, only dropping into the upper 40s and lower 50s as we head into the overnight. Expect a little more cloud cover through your Wednesday afternoon, but overall, Wednesday's going to be really nice. Again, temperatures climbing into the lower 70s, dropping into the low and mid 50s as we head into the overnight early into your Thursday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
College basketball, Kentucky, the odds-on favorite to win the SEC for the upcoming regular season at plus 350 odds. Alabama behind them at plus 450. Tennessee plus 500. Arkansas plus 700. Auburn plus 800 odds. NBA tonight, the Atlanta Hawks at the Utah Jazz. Atlanta a 7.5-point road dog. The over-under 221.5. Mid-season odds to win the Super Bowl. The Bills and Bucks, the co-favorites at plus 600. Followed by the Rams at plus 750. Cardinals at plus 800. And three teams at plus 1,000. The Packers, Ravens, and Chiefs. Saints at plus 4,500, Falcons plus 1,500.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back to Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It's warming up, 48 degrees on this Tuesday morning. Last week, the high school basketball season tipped off in earnest for several of our teams around North Alabama. Tonight, college basketball tips off in full force all across America.
It does.
Your SEC games, don't forget, Auburn will take on Morehead State tonight at 7 o'clock inside Auburn Arena. And then in a game that you will hear on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 14th-ranked Alabama will host Louisiana Tech. That is a 8 o'clock kick. Or tip, I should say, on SEC Network. Your big primetime matchup is Duke, 9th-ranked Duke, 10th-ranked Kentucky at 8:30 on ESPN. Tennessee is hosting UT Martin. That's 18th-ranked Tennessee hosting UT Martin tonight. So plenty of college basketball tipping off all across the country tonight. A great night for college hoops fans. It is also a great night for high school basketball all across America as well. If you like your college hoops and you like your high school hoops in the same night.
Oh, yeah, and we are hoopaholics here at 97.7 The Zone, as everybody knows, and especially we love the local sports and what it's become kind of a rivalry and a neat one. It's become a annual battle, especially to tip off and or begin the season, and that is the Plainview Bears, one of the best programs in the state of Alabama as far as especially small school, but really overall. An outstanding program under Robi Coker, two-time state champion. They've haven't reached the Final Four the last couple of years, but certainly have had outstanding seasons. The culture there is outstanding. And speaking of culture, there's another program being built that's trying to reach the Final Four, as Plainview has three times under Robi Coker in the last 5 or 6 seasons, and that is the Huntsville Crimson Panthers. They were one basket away from reaching the pinnacle of high school basketball. They come in tonight with a 1-0 record. They were very impressive, 68-42 this past Thursday against the New Hope Indians, and Elijah Garrison in his first game as the Indians head coach, and Christian Schweers in his 4th season. We heard from him at our our high school, Huntsville City School media day last week. And they have now gotten one game under their belts, and now they're going to test themselves in the DeKalb County Coliseum against a great crowd. Should be a raucous environment as they play against the Plainview Bears tonight at 7 o'clock. And Coach Schweers has been good enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, talk about the New Hope win and preview that game. and he's with us now. Coach, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott.
Good morning, fellas. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here. You got college basketball starting tonight. As you mentioned, we're headed to DeKalb County to face the kings of DeKalb County, the Plainview Bears, and my good friend Robbie Coker. We enjoy playing this game, and we're looking forward to seeing each other tonight.
This has kind of become an annual tradition for you guys and Plainview.
It has. This is, I think, would be called the rubber match. We won one, they won one, and we're looking forward to playing those guys. You know, somebody asked me this morning, you know, what I thought about them and what I thought how the game would go, and you know, they mentioned their team last year. I said, yeah, and they have, you know, those guys, the same players are back for Plainview, and
yes.
They were really good, and we lost like a lot of our players, and that group beat our group last year, and I thought we were pretty good last year. So that gives you an idea of how good they are and how good they can be. He's got guys that have been playing varsity basketball since the 9th grade, and you know, they're finally driving on the campus and shaving mustaches, and they look more mature, and they'll be physical, they'll be skilled, they'll be smart, they'll be disciplined, and that's the kind of team that we want to play early in the year to test ourselves. And you're really just looking to get exposed, just being honest. Some people don't want to be exposed, but we want to try and get exposed early and see what we need to clean up and what we need to tighten up and where we need to get better. And this is a great opportunity to do that.
It really is, Coach. And what did you see out of your team that you liked, first of all, against New Hope? Because I was interested to see a quote from you after the game where you were talking to your players and you talked about to basically, in a roundabout way, you knew your team was young and that there would be some first-game jitters, but to be solid in your habits.
Yeah, and I saw that quote got out of that locker room too, and that was fine. That was good. Basically, I was just trying to help them relax. We have basically a brand new team with only a couple players that have ever played in a varsity basketball game, and I knew they were nervous. We could tell they were nervous in walkthrough, and we could tell they were nervous warming up in the locker room and out in the hallway. And you can just see it on their faces. These guys were really, really nervous, and you know, they're good players, but they're young and they lack experience, and they're going to get a lot of experience this year. But these guys love basketball, and just wanted to remind them of the habits that they've been forming for a while now, and doing all the small details, and just an adage that I got from somebody I used to coach with. Just, you know, you stick to the details, and the nerves kind of go away. You know, you don't play off emotion, you play off intensity, and you do that, you know, the entire game at 100%. Usually something good will happen. That doesn't equal success every night, but it gives you the best chance to be successful for sure.
You mentioned nerves. You mentioned all of that. As your experience as a high school coach, how long does it usually take for guys to kind of all that stuff to go away? How many games and before you see action kind of start to slow down a little bit?
Well, there's no coincidence that the more mature teams who have senior-laden teams with loads of experience, those teams usually advance deep into the playoffs. And the reason for that is that they probably went through adversity before that at some point in their career, and they grew from that. They didn't shrink away from it. And they did that enough times to develop the toughness you got to have to be a good team late in the season. And so that usually happens with older teams, but, you know, talented teams figure it out too at some point, regardless of how old they are. I really like our team. You know, we're young. We are in a tough area, but I really like our team. We got good kids. They work hard. They play hard. They're all into what we're doing here, and they care about each other. They're highly skilled. And, you know, I just think that we're going to, if we continue to do those things that we've been doing, forming the habits and playing the right way, I think that we got a chance to really improve throughout the year. And, you know, we're looking forward to playing. I'd much rather play Plainview with a game under our belt than opening up with them with a young bunch. So on that flip. Last year we didn't get a game before we played them, and we had a more veteran team, and his young team came into our gym and beat us 54-50. It was a really good game, had a good game plan, and they played really well.
Yes, they did. They also beat Austin last year, came over here, and then lost a heartbreaker to Westminster Christian. So they love to challenge themselves, which is what really I admire about Robbie Coker and his program. But speaking of your squad, I thought they were really good defensively, 27 turnovers forced against New Hope. Caleb Harrison, young sophomore, maybe not a huge scoring game for him, Coach, but 10 rebounds, 7 blocks, 4 steals, really did a nice job of protecting the rim. Going to need some of that tonight against Plainview.
Yeah, I was really glad to see the game go like that for Caleb, honestly. I know it sounds weird, but he is a really talented offensive player that can do a lot of things. But, the things we've been challenging him on to become better in the other areas, rebounding and playing with great effort for 32 minutes and blocking shots, being a rim protector. I mean, he was really good at those things. 10 rebounds and 7 blocks, as you mentioned, 4 steals. He was very active, and I thought that was the best game that I'd seen him play since he's been on the varsity dating back to last year. And, he didn't have a particularly great night offensively, but he was just so active and impactful. And, obviously he'll have to play really well for us to be in the game tonight in Rainsville.
He certainly will. And then Messiah Morris, third-year starter for you, Coach. He was tremendous the other night, especially with his mentality. New Hope could not stay in front of him. He got to the rim, but I thought he also shot the ball very confidently from the perimeter, mid-range, and the three-point line. It's something you're going to need to see this year. 25 points, as we said, to lead the way, but an outstanding performance from a senior point guard that was without his running mate, but got off to the kind of start you need to see from a guy that this is going to be the final book and chapter, or so to speak, of whatever you want to say, of a journey that he's had with you since you got here.
Absolutely. I mean, you just nailed it on the head, and it was so great to see him play with such confidence and poise at the same time. He was very aggressive offensively, picking his spot to try and score, and it's something we've been pushing him to do. He's a really good floor general, but he's so electric with the basketball, and he's got the ability to make plays every time the ball's in his hand. And I just thought his decision making was really, really good. When he hit a step back 3 off a ball screen, the defender went under, and he kind of stepped back and hit it about 22 feet. And that was kind of the ultimate confident play for him. Something he's been really working on is his shot, and to see him shoot it like that the other night and score, it was great. And it helped our team. He did what our team needed to be successful the other night.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you want to go in each game that you play, you want to win. Mm. But obviously tonight it's just game 2. So obviously you have to continue to work on things. Where would you like to try to work on some things the most tonight?
Yeah, that's a good point. The approach we're taking is that, all these games really and truly are practices for the games in January. And so you're just kind of playing with house money right now to get better. And, I think if we were not playing someone good like Plainview game 2 or early, like we would be doing this the wrong way, in my opinion. We're trying to get these guys exposed to as many things at a high level as possible. And so, we want to stick to the things that we talk about every day in practice. Can we go into a different environment against a very good team who's well coached, and can you still play with great energy for 32 minutes? Can you still do your job every possession when something doesn't go well the possession before? Do you come together, or you separate when adversity hits? All those things that we talk about, we're still trying to form our team and our identity for the most part. And so those are the things we're looking for tonight. I think that some keys that we'll have to do well to be in this game is, we're going to have to really guard them on every single possession. There could be no plays off defensively because they can just explode on you from the 3-point line, and their pace is so good. They've got several really good players, but they got two players that I think are going to go to another level this year. I think Cole Milliken is one of the best guards in the state of Alabama, regardless of class. And I know there's a couple small colleges around here that don't want me talking about him like that because he's a little under the radar. Doesn't play AAU, but I mean we've got experience with him. This guy is a dude. He dropped 26 or 28 on us the first time over there 2 years ago as a sophomore. Really heady player. He's 6'2". They have a kid named Luke Smith who's about 6'5", can score from all over the floor. He's kind of a stretch four, really good player. A shooter named Jonah Williams. All those guys I just mentioned they've got over 150 games probably combined playing on the varsity level. Very good players, and so we'll have to really be on it defensively tonight, and then just be who we are offensively. Push. They're not going to have a problem with us pushing in tempo and share the basketball, and just need to be aggressive. Are we going to shrink from the moment and play out of fear? Or are we going to rise up and play with aggression and play with confidence and those sorts of things? And so it's exciting. I'm glad we get to go play. No restrictions at DeKalb County Civic Center tonight. It'll probably be pretty electric.
No question. And my final thought from you, Coach, is it's neat to watch young players mature and become a big part of things that maybe were JV guys last year or played varsity, but because you had such a veteran group, they didn't get a lot of minutes or didn't have as big a role. But in the first game, it was good to see a young player like a Tyler Bump, who's a junior now, come off the bench for you and score 14.
Yeah, Tyler came off the bench, played really well. He has that ability to score, can explode on people. He had, I think, 32 in a game last year in the JV versus a good Austin team. So he's got that ability to score, and he's 6'4", he's strong, and it was good to see someone come off the bench that's in our rotation play that way. We'll need that night in and night out, particularly early on in the season. So we're looking forward to it. Exciting time. We got college starting tonight. My man Bucky McMillan at Sanford, he's tipping off year 2 tonight, and looking forward to keeping up with those guys as well. It's just great to see all the teams around North Alabama playing. Everybody's doing what they think is right, and everybody's been working in the preseason. Everybody's kind of fresh right now. You hadn't really hit any walls, so it'll be fun to see basketball in North Alabama. A lot of good teams up here this year.
Yeah, a lot of energy, and it should be a lot in the DeKalb County Coliseum. Come support the Huntsville Crimson Panthers, and I'm sure Rainsville's definitely going to turn out for the Plainview Bears. It's going to be an electric environment. 7 o'clock tonight. Before that, Jeff Smith and the ladies are going to play. They got a big win yesterday over Columbia, and Marcus McCall's got a good young team, but a 57-44 Huntsville Lady Panther win, and they're going to go for 2 in a row tonight. That's going to be a tough, I guess, a very good Plainview ladies program as well. So it's going to be some quality basketball. Come out and support these young people. Well, Coach, thank you for the time, and we look forward to seeing you tonight.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks, Huntsville High Head Coach Christian Schweers joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Again, high school basketball in earnest tonight again, and it's all around the state. A lot of great high school basketball being played already. In action are several teams. There are several teams that will not start until later this week.
Right.
And we'll check in with them as the week rolls along, because we want to make sure that we, especially Lehigh, and what could be Greg Brown's final year.
Could be.
We talked to him earlier, and we had a fascinating conversation that we will share with you coming up a little bit later in this week. All right, I tell you what, right now, real fast, though, we do have – now, the Huntsville Havoc play tomorrow night at home, and you'll be able to hear that game on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But they're also at home on Friday, November 12th. So we have – let's see here, 2 pairs of tickets. These will be good for 4 tickets to the Huntsville Havoc game on Friday, November 12th. 256-576-4977. The third caller that calls in, if you want to go see the Huntsville Havoc take on Let's see, who are they playing? They're taking on Macon on Friday. This is not for Wednesday. This is for Friday. The third caller that calls in, 256-576-4977. We will give you your chance to go see the Huntsville Havoc take on Macon on Friday, 7 o'clock. So go watch some hockey on us on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You got to pick up the vouchers, and then you've got to head down to the VBC. So Chad will get you all squared away on that. So 256-576-4977. Call now for your chance to go see the Huntsville Havoc. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll talk some more high school basketball.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Still may have a working accident in Morgan County. 36 in Mount Tabor had a report a vehicle hit a tree there. Their reported injury. 231 northbound at Meridianville Bottom should be clear. Huntsville Browns Ferry east of Lucas Ferry had injury and entrapment. It should be clearing up as well. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write this name down. Dr. Randall Burns at Huntsville Heart Specialist, where they have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks. And that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands. Or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
When you needed your mom, she was always there with the Vicks Vapor Rub. She used that soothing scent to calm you. And her mom used it to calm her. And her mom, well, you get the idea. Vicks Vapor Rub's always been there. It always made you feel better. And today, it still does. Bring back those childhood memories with the comfort and care only Vicks Vapor Rub can bring. Vicks Vapor Rub, family tradition for a reason.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Jesus tells us to go the second mile. Well, sometimes it's hard enough to go the first mile. But when the Lord is number one in our lives, we not only go the first mile, but we embrace the second mile. We can talk all we want about Jesus and how important he is to us, but we show it in the second mile. In the second mile, the world has changed. In the second mile, the difference is made. In the second mile, the lost world sees Christ in us. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks, and that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
And indeed, welcome back to Talkin Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are warming up as we go along with the show. 52 degrees right now here in the fair city of Huntsville, 8:27 on a Tuesday morning. Welcome back to 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And as we mentioned, we did talk some high school basketball before the break with Huntsville High head coach Christian Schweers. They're traveling to take on Plainview this evening, and we have been over there. We have watched this matchup in person. It is a unique environment. It is a different style of arena that you will face in, a little Coliseum feel to it. You don't see that too often. Shooters don't shoot in this environment too often. But Plainview has carved a great niche out, a great home court niche over there, if you will. And should be a fun night, fun atmosphere for some basketball.
Oh, it's going to be tremendous. And then our next guest, I believe he's entering year 9. And he's done a great job building one of the best programs in the state of Alabama, regardless of class. From 2017, 18, and 19, the Plainview Bears reached the state championship game in 3A, winning back-to-back titles in 2018 and 19, thanks to some outstanding play, 2 huge shots from Caden Milliken, but his brother Cole Milliken, now a senior for Plainview, an outstanding player. You heard Coach Christian Schweers talking about him, but Luke Smith on this team, Levi Brown. You've got, just tremendous players, Jonah Williams. This is going to be such a fun matchup tonight. A veteran group under an outstanding coach, and their coach has been good enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and that's Robbie Coker, and he's the head coach of the Plainview Bears. Coach, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I feel good. You brought on Inner Sandman, and the mantra of the day has been Jimmy and Joe's, and there's been a lot of good players come through this program that achieved those accomplishments that you just went over.
Coach, you get a little excited about these nights still, even after so many years of going through them. Did you still get a little anxious, a little nervous before these big games and before you tip everything off?
Absolutely. If it gets to where I can sleep at night, I'm gonna get out of the business. The alarm clock didn't have to go off this morning. I think I woke up at 4:45. My wife said, "I can tell it's basketball season. First day you've been away on time, 6 months." So, yeah, no question. Guys are ready to play someone else. We got the scrimmage last week, but it's always good to tip off the season. And there's so much time and effort and work that goes into these opportunities. The state only gives us 30 of them, so you better take advantage of them. And I think our guys will be ready to play.
Well, and as we talked about, this has kind of become a mini rivalry and a tradition. You guys playing Huntsville High to tip off the season and or early in the year to measure yourselves. I admire it so much because last year you opened with Austin. You were very impressive against them. You came on the road. You beat Huntsville. You certainly went to Westminster and played Ronnie Stapler's program. So I know, as you talked about, you only get 30 dates to do this, but certainly this has become a nice matchup and one that people look forward to each year, Coach, to see you and Huntsville High hook up.
No doubt, it's a rivalry out of respect. We enjoy playing quality competition and playing against guys that play the right way. They're going, I think, Schweers used the word expose, and that's very true. They're going to expose our weaknesses tonight as well. We talk about doing things the right way, and if you don't play good, you should lose. And certainly Huntsville High is going to put a lot of pressure on us on both ends of the floor. They do a great job pressuring the basketball on defense, and then offense. They put so much pressure on the rim, which leads to a lot of open threes. So we'll know where we stand early on.
Certainly, no doubt about it. And, Coach, talk about this group. I mean, certainly they're hungry. I know when you build the beast, you have to feed it, and this team is used to winning. Have not been to Birmingham the last couple of years. Lost to a state championship team in Fife, a big rivalry, a big rival of yours. I think you guys played 5 times last year, or something to that effect. I mean, it was somewhere where it was, arguably you could say we're the 2 best teams in 3A basketball. The year before, I know midfield in the Sweet 16. So I know this group, with the experience they have and as much basketball as they've played, I know they won it all when they were younger, but I know this team has got to be hungry going into the year to try to get back to the pinnacle of high school basketball in the Final 48.
No question. Both those losses were in overtime as well. If it could get any worse, Drew.
Yes, sir.
Fife was unbelievable. Senior-laden team, tough, physical. Give those guys credit. How many times can you beat a state champion twice on their own floor? It's crazy the way that thing shook out last year. They were, on the night that mattered the most, they were a little bit better than us. And sometimes as competitors, we learn better from failure than we do success. I do believe our guys are locked in. I do believe that we had a great summer. They put a lot of time and effort into the game, and we have grown up, obviously. Got some juniors and seniors in the lineup again. We got some young kids that we think's got a chance to be good as well. We've got to mesh those groups together, and we hope we can get back to playing, 8 to 9, 10 guys. So tonight will be a great challenge to see, how it shakes out and who all can play in this kind of game.
Talk to us about your team this year.
Sure, obviously it's, I think it's Jimmy and Joe's, right, Drew? Exactly. So Cole Milliken's a stud. Obviously the 3A Player of the Year coming back. It really gives us a great fastball every night out, creates advantages for our other guys, puts the defense in a bind. Really hard to guard one-on-one. At the 2, we'll start Jonah Williams tonight, another guy that's just a junior, but he's probably played 90 varsity basketball games. We've challenged Jonah to get better off the bounce. He's got to do more to facilitate for others. We hope he takes that step this year. At the 3, we'll start Dylan Heyman. He's played a lot of games as well as a freshman and sophomore. Now he's a junior. Started the 3 for us last year, and just a jack of all trades, kind of a Swiss Army knife. He plays the backup point for us. He facilitates for others. He makes open threes. He takes charges. He's a coach's dream. He's a really intelligent player. At the 4 is Luke Smith, 6'5", long, rangy. I think last year at Huntsville we had a great defensive game, had 4 or 5 blocked shots. It kind of forced those guys to take some outside shots, and then he had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds down the stretch. It was really big for us. A guy that's had some college attention and continues to get better. And then at the 5 tonight, we're going to start Bryce Luther, which is probably a 5'11" 2 guard. But he's a senior. He's been in the program. He's intelligent. We trust him. He knows every play from every position. He's going to do things that help us win. He's going to make few mistakes. He's just a guy that we've got a lot of trust in. And then off the bench, we've got 3 sophomores and 2 juniors that any night can get 12 or 14 points. We've got to figure out, who's hot which night. whose skill set affects the game the most. It's going to be kind of musical chairs. The sophomores are Landon White, Ty Griggs, Owen Wilburn, and the juniors are Levi Brown and Sawyer Fraley.
And
so we're going to try to get 10 guys in a game and play fast.
Well, Coach, I know you've had a lot of great basketball teams in your time at Plainview. Does this team, depending on how they perform, and as you said, you have a lot of trust in this group, including the 3 sophomores and 2 juniors, on the bench. Does this have a chance to be as deep a team as you've had potentially?
Yeah, I think skill-wise, 1 through 10, it may be our most skilled team. Now, the problem is that I don't know if our toughness is as good as it's been in the past. We've got to grow up. We've got to get a little bit more mentally tough. You can't replicate games and winning plays and adverse situations, and hopefully these 30 games before the playoffs can do that for us. You guys know the schedule is brutal. But if this team grows and does what it's capable of doing, we think this group's got a high ceiling.
No question, and I know that the goal is to get to Birmingham, try to win a 3rd state championship, and it's a special place, and really looking forward to the crowd tonight too, Coach. I know last year was different due to COVID, but I know the city of Rainsville gives you guys such great support, and I know the fans have got to be chomping at the bit to get back in there and create a raucous environment tonight. We hope so. Last year was so awkward, but we were so thankful just to have games. You couldn't, there was no complaining. We're excited. I think when you've talked about it before, give our AHSA credit. I think we were the only state in the union that played a state championship in every sport. And that goes back to our leadership. We should be thankful for that. Those seniors, certainly are. So, now it's back closer to normal. Maybe we'll have a great crowd. We got the pep band. Those guys have joined in and made this thing even better. So we certainly looked a great time tonight here at the DeKalb County Schools Coliseum. It is. It's going to be a great environment, no doubt about it. And, Coach, I'm assuming that are all the tickets still on GoFan? How can people buy tickets tonight? And let the listeners know how that's going to work still.
Yes, sir. You can purchase on GoFan or at the door. So won't be a problem getting in. We'd love to have a great crowd come in from Huntsville and see a great basketball game.
Yeah, we certainly would, and I think it's going to be a great crowd. Everybody, and it's a great venue too. Scott made mention of it. We've done broadcasts from there. The DeKalb County Coliseum is a unique place, but a great place to see high school basketball, and we're all looking forward to this matchup. And, Coach, before you go, what's going to be the key for your team tonight? I know you've seen probably film of Huntsville. They played one game already against New Hope. What is going to be the key for your squad to get a big win to tip off what could be another great year of Plainview Bear basketball?
You got to handle their pressure. That's what they're known for. They're going to try to overwhelm you and create easy opportunities for them offensively. If you can handle their pressure and get a shot to the rim, you can be successful. Hopefully, we can throw a couple in. And then defensively, he talks about he's lost experience, and obviously Luke Guy was a special player, and he had a couple other guys. But the point guard, you guys know he's an elite player. He's so fast with the ball. He scores on all 3 levels. And then once they get the defense behind, I believe he's got his most skilled team he's had at Huntsville. I mean, everybody on the floor can shoot that 3. And then I ain't even talking about the 6'8" sophomore. So we're going to have our hands full. We just got to get a couple stops, maybe beat them to 100 tonight, and hopefully we can hold on for dear life.
Well, it's certainly going to be fun, and we always enjoy watching Plainview basketball, one of the most well-coached teams in the state of Alabama. Great culture, and it's going to be exciting. We look forward to seeing you tonight, Coach, and we appreciate the time and giving us a look into what could be another special group, and we look forward to seeing that group tonight on the floor for the first time. We appreciate it as always, sir.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for hyping high school athletics. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Robbie Coker, Plainview High head coach, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and that's some high school basketball talk. College basketball, as we mentioned, gets underway tonight, Drew.
Couple big matchups.
Yeah, Auburn going to take on Morehead State, 22nd ranked Auburn. Bruce Pearl still in flux with his starting 5.
Yeah.
Auburn's got a young
Doing some
group.
experimenting.
Yeah, so there's going to be some things there. We do know, like Walker Kessler is going to be in the starting five. There's some guys that
Jabari Smith.
They're going to be in the starting five. Expectations there. What do you want to see from Auburn in game one?
Well, you just want to see execution. You want to see, how they're meshing as a squad, because you got to remember they had they hit the transfer portal hard. Their backcourt's basically been rebuilt, led by Wendell Green from Eastern Kentucky, who's going to be their point guard. And I don't think Bruce Pearl is supremely happy in their exhibition win over Southern Indiana with the point guard play and the decision making. I think he felt like they needed to be worked on. I think Auburn won the game 68-54, but it was a little choppy, and they were even trailing in the latter stages of the second half before they went on a 22-0 run to finish that game.
Right.
And so, they've got some pieces returning, like a Jalen Williams. And Alan Flanagan will be back later, and he'll be a big part of it. But yeah, you want to see how Jabari Smith's fitting in. Walker Kessler, the transfer from North Carolina. So there's a lot of pieces for this Auburn team, very talented squad. But I think their best basketball is going to be in the future once they get some time on the floor together. It was good to see Desmond Cambridge make some threes. He's extremely talented. He's a guy that we'll see what his role is, whether he starts or comes off the bench. He's certainly an outstanding athlete. And then Alabama, they're going to take the court tonight. They're going to be going against Louisiana Tech, who's a really solid program, and they do an outstanding job in Conference USA. So I think they got a chance to be near the top of that league. Alabama, that you want to see how J.D. Davison builds on the performance he had against Louisiana, because he did an outstanding job in his first. It wasn't a real game; it was a scrimmage, but he had 19 points and was able to help Alabama ice the game. Certainly, they're going to have Javon Quinterly back. And of course, and that's going to be key, because Javon, of course, was the MVP of the SEC tournament, and Jawan Gary as well. Both of those guys had been suspended. They're going to be a big part of things. So it's not going to be an easy game for Alabama. That game will be on the SEC network.
Yeah.
But you want to see, Keon Ellis. Is he going to continue to show what he did? He had 21 to lead the team. Is he going to go from a guy that was really a key cog off the bench to one of the best two-way players in the SEC, as Coach Nate Oates has said? Is he going to become a big-time player and a starter, a guy you can count on each and every night for big-time offense? Jaden Shackelford back after testing the transfer portal. He didn't shoot the ball well against Louisiana, so you want to see him bounce back. Then you've got young players like a Charles Bediako, who is going to probably start at center tonight. A guy that can give them some rim protection, some rebounding that they didn't have a year ago. So both squads, Alabama and Auburn, are both talented, but they're young in many ways. So the key is going to be getting guys on the same page. And, Alabama's got a guy like Noah Gurley, who they took out of the transfer portal. He looks like he's going to play a prominent role at the power forward slot and be counted on to score the ball. But again, a lot of these guys, both at Alabama and Auburn, have not played together for that long, especially on the floor in games that matter.
Right.
And so the chemistry and how these guys mesh is going to be the key early for both Alabama and Auburn as they try to fine-tune things before they get to SEC play in late December.
All right, let's get our final break in. When we come back, your tomorrow's headlines today.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
One new accident, Oakwood and Blue Spring. It's going to turn out to be a no injury. 36 in Mount Tabor in Morgan County, Huntsville, Browns Ferry east of Lucas Ferry in Limestone County. Both of those were injury types, but they should now be cleared out of the way. You be careful on the rest of your trip in. We got some folks in last-minute dash mode this morning. You get 3 pieces of the crispy tender chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com. Alabama Sports Officials Foundation encourages everyone to sign up with the Alabama High School Athletic Association and your local Parks and Recreation Department to officiate all sports. There is a tremendous need for officials. Games are being canceled due to the shortage of officials. Give back to the sport you love through officiating so your kids can play. Your child grows up in a village, and the village needs you now. You too can be a part of the game.
A little trash talk during the game? Yeah, we get it. Trashing the state with litter? That's not a good call. Keep it clean. Put the brakes on litter. Keep Alabama beautiful. A message from AlDOT and Keep Alabama Beautiful. Keep Alabama Beautiful is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization serving the state of Alabama and believes that everyone deserves to live in a clean and healthy environment. Their vision is a clean and beautiful Alabama.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
All right, we're slipping into the future or the past, wherever he may goes. Jordy's with us in studio for the first time in the new studio, so this is a treat for us. Tomorrow's headlines today, what do we got?
You were talking about Ed Orgeron being lucky.
All right, go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, sorry. So this was for Drew here. You were talking about Ed Orgeron being lucky and everything. I guess he kind of thought Alabama was a little lucky over the weekend. He had made the comment on Monday talking about how I just thought our defense whooped their offense's butt. And he was also talking about how he really felt like they were the better team that night for that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, they threw everything at Alabama. They emptied the holster. I mean, their team had nothing to lose because, again, Ed Orgeron's done. The coaching staff's done. We already talked earlier in the show about the ridiculousness with Doug and Garrett Nussmeier. Ed Orgeron, we all saw it after the game. He's raising his arms in triumph, trying to, play off the Alabama student section and act like he said after the game, saying we're not backing down. Look, okay, you got a moral victory, kumbaya. But, I mean, you still have only beat Alabama one time since 2011. It's the only time Ed Orgeron ever beat Alabama was 2 years ago. Had a great football team, one of the best in SEC history and NCAA history. But, again, he could not feed the beast, and that's why he's gone. And even Alabama playing their D game, which is what I would call what they did on Saturday, they still beat LSU. So LSU played one of their better games of the year, probably the second best game they played since beating Florida in the Red Stick. So good for him. They got a moral victory. But if that's what my program's all about, that's why you're going to end up with a losing record and end up out of the postseason. And, again, it's kind of a microcosm of Ed Orgeron's run at LSU because he just did not know how to build a program. He had one great year, but anybody can have a great year. Ronnie Stapler told me that one time. He's like, it's about building a program. Anybody can have a great season, but can you build a program? And Ed Orgeron couldn't.
He couldn't do it. I mean, it was, like I said, the only thing that matters is the score at the end. 10 years from now, nobody's going to look back at that game and be like Ed Orgeron and LSU came close.
Right. No doubt.
Yeah. So the next one, obviously, we're moving on to Mack Jones, a little Mack Jones controversy. He's officially a New England Patriot when there's controversy in there.
Come on. I know where you're going with this. Oh, no.
You know what? Hey, it's okay. I don't think he meant anything by it seriously. He got caught up in a moment there. Brian Burns, he took a hard hit, strip sacked, and Mack Jones kind of grabbed Brian Burns' ankle, but he stuck his foot out there and kind of twisted him up a little bit. And he put him, it looked like some WWE stuff there, some old Kurt Angle style type of ankle lock there.
Here's Mack Jones on that scene. Here's Mack Jones on that.
Yeah, after I got hit pretty hard, I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I thought he had the ball, and it was my job to try and make the tackle. And, obviously when you get up and see the ball is actually down the field a little bit more, it was just a bang-bang play, and I didn't mean to hurt anybody or anything like that. I was just trying to tackle him and make the play. I didn't really know what was going on. I did what I did in real time, and it kind of just is what it is.
Did you see the play, Drew?
I did not. I just know they did win the game. Mack had a pretty good stat line. He and Hunter Henry seem to be getting some chemistry with the tight end quarterback duo going on there. And right now the Patriots are in the playoff picture. I mean, they're 5-4. They're getting better, and certainly I think he's the best rookie quarterback in the NFL. But he's a tough guy. Mack, he's not soft. I mean, he's got kind of a mentality. They call him the Joker, but they do that for a reason because there's some, I guess, deviousness behind the smile there, and he can be a vicious guy, and I think he's a competitor. There's no doubt about it, and he was competing, and they won the game on the road in Carolina, and it was a big win for the Patriots, and certainly they got a chance now to be a playoff team.
I'm glad they didn't try to throw down any suspensions or anything like that because it wasn't worthy of all of that.
All right, we got a couple more minutes left. We got to get out real fast to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jeff from the Borough with us. Oh, is he gone?
Jeff.
Oh, you know why he's gone? Because Duke is a 1-point favorite tonight over Kentucky.
It's going to be a great game, man. I mean, that's why he's gone. You got the Champions Challenge. You got Kansas and Michigan State. You got Duke. You got Kentucky and Madison Square Garden. So it's going to be a great night of college basketball. We'll hear from Jeff tomorrow if Kentucky wins. If they lose, we won't. But I'll just go ahead and say that. But I'm sure he had some thoughts on the Kentucky Wildcats, and they certainly were. They struggled a little bit with Miles. Won that exhibition game 80-71. But as Jeff said earlier in the week, that doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't. Certainly now is when it counts, and Kentucky's a very talented team, retooling under John Calipari. So that's going to be a matchup of two giants in coaching. It's the beginning of the last season for Coach Mike Krzyzewski. He'll be retiring at the end of the year. So certainly going to be a great game, and we'll be monitoring those two matchups tonight along with Alabama and Auburn basketball. And then, of course, I'll have a report from Plainview as well. It's going to be an outstanding matchup. The Plainview Bears in the DeKalb County Coliseum tipping off their season against the 1-0 Huntsville Crimson Panthers. So we're looking forward to some outstanding high school basketball tonight. And we'll have a lot to discuss, and we'll continue to break down the looming SEC football matchups as well. So, and I wanted to give a quick shout-out. Our Plott Performance, good friend Charlie Plott, his daughter Ashlyn Plott, they had a big win, the JP2 Lady Falcons last night, Scott, against Falkville, and she scored her 1,000th point in an outstanding high school basketball career thus far.
That is indeed some good news right there. It's always fun to do that. And by the way, today is the day that teams can claim Odell Beckham Jr. off the waiver wire.
Good luck with that.
You just got to pay him $7.25 million if you want to.
And target him 15 times a game and hope he catches at least 12, or it's going to be a problem.
In case you're keeping track, the Detroit Lions have first crack, followed by the Texans,
I
Dolphins,
wish he'd go to
Jaguars,
Detroit. I really
do.
Send him to purgatory.
Oh.
By the way, Wolverine Dan, if you're listening, I have a rug for you.
You have a rug?
I have a Michigan rug for Wolverine Dan. He just needs to come by the station.
Oh, the doormat. The
yes.
stuff from the old
It's a rug.
Yes.
I call that a rug.
A doormat or a rug?
Yeah.
What do you call it? What do you call it, Jordy? A doormat or a rug?
I call it a rug, too.
And not a toupee. It's a rug.
It's a toupee? What are you talking about? Stocking hat or toboggan?
There you go. But it's a rug. It's for Wolverine Dan and his man cave.
Missed that one. Stocking cap or toboggan?
It's a toboggan.
Oh, get out of here.
Christian Schweers, Robbie Coker, we appreciate the phone calls.
All right.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad